the enemy of God that come like a flood. That's Isaiah chapter 59, verse 10. And I've made the comparison this week between a flash flood and just a regular flood. The regular flood is often slow. It builds to crest, and in the meantime, it's allowing water to flow over the banks of the river or the lake or whatever it may be, and now it's flowing into people's yards and into their houses, into their homes, into their businesses. And the enemy is just that way. James talks about it in the book of James. And he talks about, he says, when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And if you think that through, what James is telling us is that it's a process. In other words, lust becomes a process. So the lust doesn't just automatically manifest itself just in one day. It's taken the things that are already in our heart where we're vulnerable, and he's exploiting it. It's increasing it, enlarging it to where it becomes an obsession. And watching things, seeing things, listening to things, anything like that, that it appeals to the flesh senses, and it becomes something that is very desirable, and you find yourself thinking about it when you're doing other things. That's where your mind is. Well, that's the whole lust part. And what James is telling us is, you let that go long enough, and when it comes to its completeness, in other words, it'll come to that point to where you'll be enticed to act out on it. See, in other words, it comes to that point to where now it's affecting everything, and you can't turn your mind off from it, even though you might try. You'll find it constantly creeping back in, and then making suggestions that, well, maybe you should just do this, and maybe if you just did this, that won't be as bad, and it won't have consequences like this other thing would. And it's all a trick of the enemy. But what the enemy wants to do is he wants to get control of your mind. And if he can get control of your mind, he can get control of your heart. And he'll cause you to want to honor him above God. To say, well, you'll come to a point, literally, to where you have to choose the Word of God and the teachings of Christ, or you want to follow the dictates of the enemy. Well, again, this is all very subtle. It's like a flood. It keeps rising. It keeps intensifying in power. And it just finally brings a person to a place where they're extremely vulnerable. And this is what James says, that when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin, because now we found ourselves acting on the lust. And now something's happened that can't be reversed now. You've done something. It's just like when Eve partook of the tree, it's done. She can't go back and take that bite out and put it back, put the apple back on the tree. No, it can't be undone. It's done. And now we have the consequences. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.